This will be a little bit of a chaotic start to our next video. We're just south of Dublin in the town of Bray. We've driven down here and we've taken a few days off to spend some time with our friends that flew over for the Seminole game. And we were just leaving a restaurant and I could not share this with you guys. Look at all the swans that have come in for the night right here at the little marina. Now we know not to get too close, but this will be our last night with our friends. We'll be saying goodbye to them in the morning. Y'all know Sylvia if you follow our journey. The boys are over there somewhere. Kurt did come over and take a peek at the swans too. But we'll be back in the morning to get back on the road and start sharing cool stuff with you guys.
You'll have to forgive me, but I've had a bit of a cold over the last few days. And basically we've been living in Dublin for like a week now, and we have really been enjoying it. It was an action-packed week with a lot of stuff going on. Some of it we covered, a lot of it we didn't, but just know we had an amazing time catching up with friends. We went at the last night, we went out for a celebratory dinner, and you had a really cool thing with the swans. But anyway, it was an amazing time, and we are on the road. We are kind of back into travel mode, if you will. So that was a big event that we kind of been leading up to. Now we're back to explore Ireland, and we think about 3 weeks to a month to do it. So we are getting excited because we are about to explore some of Ireland's most beautiful places. And there's one more thing that I forgot to tell you guys, and that is Snow's driving for quote unquote her first time in Ireland. Now she's done a very little tiny bit of driving.
Like 500 feet.
But this is like a stretch of driving left side. Now, we just came across the toll road. I don't even, how much was it?
So 230 euros, so $2.30.
Yeah. So, and I think there might be one more along the way, not sure. But anyway, so we had the tolls. We just filled up with fuel.
Yeah, we filled up with fuel. I don't know how much it cost total, but I did look. It is $1.70 a liter, which would be $6.80, I think, a gallon for diesel right now in Ireland. And when we went through the toll booth, not only did we drive on the wrong side of the road here, but the driver sits on the wrong side of the car here. So everything happens over there. So Kurt had to pay the toll because normally the steering wheel would be over there. Everything is backwards in Ireland and England and all that.
But not only do they have toll roads, there's all kinds of different roads, loads of roundabouts, narrow streets. Of course, they have the single track roads in the countryside, and so there's all sorts of driving adventures to be had here. If you guys have seen some of our other videos from England and here, you probably know. But anyway, wish your luck, guys.
Yeah. This is a good road to do your first driving because you can kind of get used to how weird it feels before you get into big intersections and everything. So I figured I'd go ahead and do it.
First thing that the co-pilot always says, stay left.
Stay left, stay left, stay left.
On Mallow, Dublin Road, N73.
And Snow's encountering her first roundabouts.
And there's like 3 in a row.
3 in a row. Now you guys got to remember what the golden rule is.
Exit the roundabout on
Stay left.
Dublin
Stay
Road.
left.
Continue on N73 for 4
Woo, I
kilometers.
did it.
Now we got a saying in the van. The passenger seat is the toughest seat in the van. And what makes it really tough here in Ireland and in the UK, we're driving on the left side with the steering wheel on the left side. That means the passenger is sitting right here next to oncoming traffic. No brake, no steering wheel. You just have to trust the driver.
And this is Kurt's first time having to deal with that because he's been doing all the driving, and it's definitely a sketchy seat over there.
All right, Snow just with the fiendish chuckle said, welcome to the suicide seat now. But as we're going through this, the roads are getting narrower, and they're also, some of them lined with these really cool stone walls. What do you call those things on top? Their own little ecospheres?
Yeah, little baby forests.
Well, we can see the patchwork of farms out on the rolling hills. It's tough to get views, guys, because of all the shrubbery and walls and whatnot. We're definitely coming through dairy country. Ireland's famous for their Irish cheddar cheese, their creams, and their milks and their butters and all that stuff. And we're definitely coming through that area, and we're really enjoying it. But the roads are definitely getting narrower, and I'm getting my comeuppance. Now, one of the things that makes it tough for the driver, on the left side, if you guys can see, there is just a row of bushes. In a lot of places, they don't really trim them. It's just like our edge mirrors that trim them. So when these roads get really narrow, you almost have to keep your mirror just right up against those in some places. And it also makes the visibility a little difficult from over there because you're driving on the left side.
Oh, this is a cute little town.
Flashing yellow light. I think that's for pedestrians. I guess it could be you.
First town.
And we're on the skinniest road yet. And so is, and some of these roads, kind of the narrow, skinny ones, get a lot more wobbly too. And Snow has yet to experience that. Also, the center lines tend to go away. And then along the left wheel path, there also tends to be some potholes and ruts and stuff. So it makes for an interesting ride. And a lot of these roads are like 2 car widths wide. So basically, it's mirror to mirror.
Oh, center line's back. Woohoo!
Turn right onto Abbey View R580.
There's the Ketchup Cafe. Pothole repairing or spraying, or it's a spray bar. Yeah, he sprayed something. That thing sprays out rock.
It stays out coal
coated.
patch.
Yeah.
He's using that thing to,
Yeah.
that's what he's patching with. Cheers,
Oh,
mate. So we just arrived in the Killarney forest, and instantly it changed. We can see the mossy trees and stones and all the ferns, and well, we're not on the main road and we're not on a single track anymore, somewhere between. But it is beautiful here. We came down kind of around the little city of Killarney, and of course down the interstate through the farmlands, through the farm countries. But we have arrived in an area that we're going to be staying at for the coming days and exploring. The Killarney National Forest is supposed to be an epic spot in Ireland.
Yeah, the Ring of Kerry is what I think it's kind of called, as a tourist drive with lots of things all around the loop to see. So we're going to see what we can get into here.
I think we have a waterfall, a really scenic drive, and then a hike. So we're excited about this area.
Let's do it.
So turn the key and cool on. Push the pause for relief. Free pass, you don't even have to ask to be the cat in the sun. Someday I will see the whole deal through today. I've got better things to do, okay, to leave a little bit undone and be the cat in the sun. Set aside every empty spreadsheet line and loosen up on the grind. Simmer down, settle back and mess around. Be the cat in the sun.
Savannah is definitely doing some hunting. She is in heaven. There's these little brown birds fluttering around in this little sort of taking down dead tree limbs. And she's fluffing her tail up and running around, and the birds are kind of sticking around, playing with her a little bit. Of course, we're not going to let her get one, but she's getting to hunt and she's having some fun being out here in the nature. I love this for the kitties. It's such quality time. G was out here earlier. I didn't have the camera, but he got a really good walk too, and especially after being in the city. Oh, and there's a deer right over there. All right, guys, I'm going to try to zoom in that clearing right under the tree. His head is down, his tail is to us. So right through that gap, right dead center of those trees. Come on. Well, we had a brilliant camp spot last night, and you know, it wasn't perfectly level and we're kind of by the road, but we're out in the nature and that changes everything. This is Killarney National Park, and it is the oldest national park in Ireland and one of the oldest national parks in all of Europe for that matter. It was established as a national park in 1932, but as much as 100 years prior to that, the lords and the earls and the kings, or whoever they were who owned this property, was protecting it, and they used it back then, of course, for hunting lands and other things like that. So this is home to a natural species of red deer that's found here in Ireland. I think it's one of the only places where they're still found. And we saw some yesterday while I was out walking the kitties. And so I thought this morning I would come out before we go on our waterfall hike and see if I couldn't find some more of these deer. Well, it was raining when I woke up this morning, so I'm out here in sort of a misty haze, and I was trying to just see any semblance of nature that I could as it wakes up. And I'm out here by the lake, and it's stunning. And even in the mist, we can see the mountains, the big twisted trees, the little rivers running down into this big giant lake right here. But we're gonna go on a waterfall hike in a little bit, and then we're gonna head down the way. There's an incredible pass that goes through these mountains and through this national park. It's a single track road, a historic road, and supposed to be one with some real scenic nature. So we're gonna get on the road here in a little bit, but I wanted to come out here this morning and see this area, and of course I wanted to show you guys too. All right, we had about a 10-minute drive over here to the waterfalls, a nice little drive through the forest, and the name of this waterfall is the Torc Waterfall, T-O-R-C, and that translates in Irish to wild boar. Now the rumor has it that back in the 1800s there was a man who lived here, and at night, well, he would turn into a wild boar. And supposedly he was spotted by some people around, and so he scampered up into here. But this was his area, and the waterfall was the entrance to the cave. So we're gonna go see if we can see the werewolf man or the wild boar man. But more importantly, we're gonna go check out this waterfall, and we're gonna spend a little time in the nature.
So we think this is a relatively short hike to get to this waterfall. And it's a pretty popular one too. There's lots of other people on the trail. Now online we found a map that had 3 different trails. Red, yellow, and blue. Red being the harder one, yellow being the average one, and blue being the easier one. Well, since I'm tagging along, we have chose the blue one. Look at this beautiful river or stream, whatever you want to call it. Wow. This is stunning, guys. The dark rocks, the little rapids, the green moss, the beautiful trees. This looks like a postcard.
So I've walked up into this little birch forest, and they put a fence around it to protect it. So it's a little small forest area with these little birch trees here, and you can see the moss has covered them up. But for the little seedlings and saplings and all the stuff that's growing, they fenced it off so the deer don't go in here and eat them. And it's really kind of on the forest a fascinating little difference in the trees, and it really is a nice little diversion. But we're still moving on to the waterfall.
We have encountered a conundrum. We thought we knew where the waterfall was, but apparently we have no idea where it is. The map says one thing, Google says another thing. People were passing on the trail say we're a mile past it. It was way down the road. I think we'll, I don't know what we'll do. Right now we're walking back towards the van, and we'll figure it out. Lost in Killarney National Park.
And whenever you're doing a forest walk in a place like this that's wet and damp with all the moss and all the ferns, it's always a treat to come over a fallen tree that has like carpeted tree limbs all over. I mean, it's almost like one of those 70s conversion vans that you'd cover with the shag carpet. But the lighting and the greens are absolutely stunning. You could just stare at this tree.
So as we're walking back to the van, I want y'all to see this really old rock wall back here behind us. Been there for no telling how long, covered in roots, trees growing out of it, and one of our favorite things, that really cool green moss. So I think what we've decided is Curt may continue the adventure and try to find this waterfall, but I'm probably going to head to the van and call it a day that I had a nice, beautiful walk through this mossy road, these beautiful trees across that beautiful river. And we'll see if Curt can find the waterfall today. But first, gotta get back to the van.
All right, I'm believing we made this hike more difficult than it is, but I'm gonna go check it out. I think the waterfall is just right here. We took a trail on the way up, and you know, some days Snow's heart's not as good as others, and she just didn't have her in it to do an aggressive hike. So I'm gonna go down here and check it out, but it's looking already like I think she can make this no problem. So we come down through here. Nice entrance to the park though, nice introduction, right? So again, I was mistaken, but I came up to this little area just below the parking lot, 50 feet away. And it turns out this looks like sort of a man-made deal right here, probably back for some kind of mill or something like that. But anyway, I'm gonna head back up here. Sounds like it's about a 10-minute walk down to the big waterfall. I'll let Snow, she can easily make it down to this one if she wants to come down and check it out. And this is really even crazy. We're walking along here and all of a sudden there's a steep drop off, and I can see there's a big gorge over to the left. Had no idea it was there. That's probably a good 65, 75 feet down. And I do believe through the trees, you guys probably can't see it, pick it up, but I am picking up views of the lake as well. See if I can get you some shots. This trail is actually a big steep stairwell trail down into the gorge, so that's kind of where I'm headed now. Not sure how far it is down here to the waterfall, but we've been going down for a while and have a little bit further to go. I just had Snow meet me down the lake, so I'm just gonna go straight through instead of looping back, guys. Okay, really great waterfall. You can see it just cascading down the rock, and then it kind of gets to a level and it's just all boulders through here. And that's what I'm out here standing on. I climbed out here on some boulders. We're gonna work our way down. We kind of mitigated all the Instagrammers who are in a line, and we cut our own path. And so I think we were able to get you some shots that most other people weren't getting. But the challenge is, now I gotta work my way down through these boulders. And you know me, I love to play on rocks, but I gotta be honest with you, these are slippery. And well, let me put down the camera because I gotta do some handwork to get through here, because this stuff below me, if you can see, any place I put my feet is gonna slip, so I need a proper foothold, and the only way to get one is to use my hands. We're just kind of working our way along this eroded little rocky beach, and I'm using my hands to kind of help me, because you really need 3 points of contact on these stones down here. In case you don't know, 3 points of contact means at any given time you have 2 feet and at least one hand on the surface. And in this case, I just use my butt. So whatever it takes to get through here safely. I got a couple more rocks to shimmy down, and I think I'm almost out this way. And again, if you can see from down here, well, up there's a line of people doing their Instagrams. But yeah, we're down here where there's absolutely nobody, and we have a totally unimpeded view of this beautiful waterfall, and we get to play on the rocks, which is always an added bonus. Look at there, guys. We made it. One last look into the sun and at the waterfall. That's it, guys. We're out of here. But you can see the lines are building there, and they're still coming. So that's what we avoided. Woohoo! Let's go meet up with Snow in the van and get on the road and get out of this melee. So this is the entrance to the Torc National Water Park, to the Torc Waterfall, I'm sorry, to the Killarney National Park. And they've got a parking area now. There's not overnight parking allowed in this place, but if you want short, easy access, this is where I recommend you going. And these have started showing up in this area, and I think are quite popular, but these are carriage rides. And so you can see the horses right here. They're big, beautiful horses, and you can rent these and they'll pull you around some of these trails and in through all this beautiful countryside. I think some of them even specialize in maybe like finding deer and other things like that. But anyway, a cool another part of this park, and I think we'll see more of it as we move on. And across the way, maybe you can see it, but there's a little carriage over there, horse-drawn carriage going through the farms, and right in front of us between here is the cattle, but that also rides right along the lake. And I took you on a walk over there this morning by the lake, so it's pretty cool. So again, I don't know if you guys will be able to see him, but I've come around the hill from the other way, and that deer's laying there. He's laying on the ground. He's light brown in his sea of green. And I'll zoom in here. Again, I don't have the right camera, but he's looking right at me. He can hear my voice. He can particularly hear the click of the camera. So if I want to get their attention, I just click that and they look at me. And he's sitting right there in the middle of the field. The one I saw yesterday had a baby, and there could be a little baby laying off to the right. Again, need to get my big camera out. I was walking around this pasture earlier today looking for him. I'll be back. Oh, and look at this spot. So I can just take the big camera right down the way right there, right now. I know Snow's wanting some lunch and wanting to get back on the road, but I can get you a better shot of that deer.
You saw a deer again?
Yeah, he's out here in the field. We need the big camera.
I'll get it.
And this is pretty amazing. I'm out walking G, and if you can see right up there, the deer have come up by the trail. And so G can see him, and you can hear him chattering, the little hunter that he is. He can definitely see those deer up there. Look at them all. And I was working to get the big camera on them. And wow. You ready to go? It's time to go inside, buddy. Time to go inside. Let's go. Here comes G. Let's go. Call him. Good morning, everyone. We got off to an early start this morning, and mainly because I think this is the prettiest morning we've had here in Ireland. You know, the weather comes and goes, and we don't know how long we're going to have this sunshine. There is just a slight bit of haze, and we have made it into the midges, and we've heard about them in Scotland. We didn't know they were here, but they're this like little gnats, stingy gnats, and they swarm, and they are all over here. But the drive here is a windy road through these hilly, rocky, mountainy roads, narrow, and well, we're gonna be riding through them today, but I gotta hop back in the van because these midges are literally killing me. Whoa!
So we're just driving down this narrow, beautiful road. weaving through these lakes, minding our own business, come up on some cool goats. Now, we don't think they were farmed goats. They looked a little wild if we didn't see tags, but it was really cool. They were just walking right there on the wall that was along the road. So, goat sighting first thing this morning. So we keep weaving around these roads through these lakes. We've spotted a few sheep in the distance, some sheep farms, but we're starting to come up onto the mountain area. So we're popping up and we're seeing some of these. There's no trees, they're grass all the way to the top, covered with big boulders everywhere. And then there's a lot of shrubs, some of them with wildflowers and ferns. It's really an odd mix of plant life. But in the distance, you see more and more of these mountains. So this is turning into a stunning drive, and we still, knock on some wood, we still have somewhat blue skies. We have turned off of the main road, and we are going to take a road called the Gap of Dunloe. Now, it is known for being narrow, but there's also passing points. But if you come up on someone or you encounter a lamb jam, this could turn into a hairy situation, but the views tell us it is worth it. Hi there, buddy. Hi guys, you're so pretty. So here we go, guys, on what's supposed to be a stunning drive through these mountains.
We braved the hurricane, fought against the waves. We're dancing through the days. They said we'd never understand. We're building castles in the sand. Maybe we don't have to have a plan. Learning how to fly, chasing after love, not stopping till we hear the angels singing all night. Learning how to fly, chasing after love, not stopping till we hear the angels singing all night.
We have made our first wildlife stop, where we saw a nice big rabbit.
Oh, there he goes.
So
He's a hare. I don't know if they call them rabbits or hares here.
Well, he looks like a big rabbit, so whatever that means. And now we will keep on going. I don't know if it'll show up on our video camera, but there is a rainbow going right over there and landing in that valley. And we're in Ireland. Lucky charms, leprechauns, rainbows, pots of gold.
We're looking for a pot of gold.
All right, we went by a big sign that officially welcomed you to the Gap of Dunloe and gave you warnings about how narrow the road is. And we've come up on a few cars through here. We've had to do a couple of very short backups and some squeeze overs. So far, we haven't encountered anything truly terrifying. But it is a very narrow road. It's another reason we wanted to get an early start this morning. And here's a hostel if you decide you want to come out here, the Black Valley Hostel.
It seems to be another name they call this area is the Black Valley.
Yeah, we've seen a few signs for that. I sure hope y'all can see that. Look at that beautiful rainbow right there.
Little waterfall cascading down.
Oh, it comes all the way
there.
over here. Let's stop for a second, Kurt.
Yeah.
We have made it to the north end of the Gap. The last little bit might have been the hairiest part because we started passing all these horse carriages. Now there's a carriage house that if you don't have a van, or maybe you're a little leery about driving your van through such a narrow road, this carriage house here on the north end has parking. We passed a lot of walkers doing this trail through here. And I can tell you that if you were maybe any longer than us, and we're 7.2 meters long, this might be something you might not want to try to do. A couple of the switchbacks were pretty tight, and another tip would be to come very, very early, because as the tourists are getting out, of course we're passing more cars. But that was an incredibly stunning ride through there.
Gorgeous drive. The Killarney National Park is a place, if you're coming to Ireland and you love nature, you absolutely want to get to this park.
Yeah, and it, of course, it's touristy. Oh, I thought they were coming behind us. Of course it's touristy, but I think it's a little bit off of the major tourist path. So with that, guys, we are going to wind this video down. We will see you in a few days from somewhere else here in beautiful Ireland. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you know when we put out new videos. It helps us a bunch. Cheers, guys.